Guys, you begin to build your podcast and you begin to have ideas for which content you want to have, but then you need guests to come on your podcast as you want to grow that over time. How do you get those guests? Well, today Rashawn is going to share from his experience. He's done this a lot and he's going to share what works. So that's coming up.
Welcome to the Bite Size Marketing Hack Podcast, where you get the confidence to hack your marketing 5 minutes at a time.
Hey, what's up, guys? Rashawn here. Super glad you guys are here on the Bite Size Marketing Hacks. And today, guys, we're going to talk about what it looks like to basically extend an invite to someone to join you on your show, on your podcast show. Maybe you're thinking about launching a show, or even you have one going now, but you want more, sort of thought leaders or people with experience to really speak into your audience to bring them value. Today, we're going to talk about that. Let's go. For me personally, I've been learning, over the past, I say 3 or 4 months, as my show first started off as, something where I would just do more teachings and it wasn't a lot of different guests coming on. But one time a friend reached out to me that was who's a thought leader, and his book was coming out. And he asked me, Rashawn, I would love to be on your show to just share about my book. I think our perspectives align, but also I believe I can bring value to your audience. And I was like, hey, let's give it a shot. I love this guy. I believe in him. And he came in on my show and he blew it away. I got a ton of people that reached out to me and shared how his content really blessed them and how it was so encouraging, but yet it challenged them in their walk, in their faith walk. And I just thought this would be amazing to sort of just get more people on the show. So I began to reach out to people I believe in and, I trust and value and love, and brought them on the show. And there's different ways you can go about doing that. For me, for instance, it was just, hey, a simple DM. I would love to have you on my show. I've been following you for some years now. I love your voice, and I really value your voice and your message. And from there, we just start conversations. But to get some of the bigger names on my show, what I would do is wait till their book was releasing and sort of get them on the show around that time, because everyone's looking to promote their book. Everyone's looking to promote their stuff. And that was a great opportunity for me to build even more connections. So, yeah, that's just a little bit, Mark, that I'll share about. You got anything?
Oh, I just want to reflect. No, I don't. I just want to reflect back because I think that's really good. And I think you who've done this a lot, they've got some real good insights right there. Just first of all, you are a lot of the ways that you connect with influencers and, as you put it, thought leaders is just really relational. And I think sometimes we can create this barrier in our own minds that there are people out there who wouldn't want to give us the time of day, or they wouldn't answer. If we reached out, they would never talk to us. But the way that you just say, hey, I just sent them a direct message. I just started a conversation and they began to talk back. And I mean, I think that right there is so simple, but we need to hear that the reality is it starts with us in our mindset, just beginning to think, hey, I could actually build this podcast and I could actually get some really good guests and I could actually get response from people when I reach out to them. So I think that's a really good motivation and even exhortation to us. It's don't be afraid to just reach out and start a conversation with somebody that you might admire or you think could be influential in that space. Just go for it.
So true. I love that, Mark. Yeah. And another thing that I've discovered too, from a business standpoint, not just a relationship type thing, but a business standpoint, a lot of the big quote unquote business deals aren't done inside of the podcast show in and of itself, but literally outside of those moments whenever you're having that conversation before you even start to air. And even after you start to air, maybe you're a business and you have some really great clients or even potential clients. You want to reach out to them and, just see exactly where you can bring them value. One, by bringing them on the podcast, but number two, by trying to see where your business can line up with what their goals and their mission is. So Yeah, I've seen that work night and day. Is not necessarily just from this point wanting to get something from someone, but from the standpoint when you bring value to someone, it's almost like, dude, I wanna return this favor to
That's
you,
good.
and yeah, bro. So it's just been awesome just to see how that unfolds. It's been a game changer as far as like being a podcast host, but a podcast host that loves to bring other people's on and allow them to sort of magnify their voice a bit, and impacts a lot of people, man.
I think that's good. And that's to your second point of you saying that the way that you get some of the bigger names is you wait until they're at a point where they're releasing a book or some new product, and they're looking for a platform to help promote their content. And so I think getting in that mindset of not only being bold enough to ask, but then also realizing that being aware of when somebody could benefit from being a part of being on the podcast, on the platform, and just being real strategic about your timing and when you ask. I think those are two really good, simple, but very actionable keys that anybody can do to get some guests on their podcast.
Very true, Mark. And I would just, I would want to just add to that just a little bit. And I think one of the great things about just bringing people on your show, not only having this sort of mindset, hey, I want people to come on my show to promote their stuff, but what are true ways that you can get people to, like, niche specific people to speak into, serve your audience well. That's the primary, not necessarily just for your own selfish reasons, but to really figure out what is it that your audience wants to hear, who do they want to hear from, by doing polls, whatever that looks like, because, man, that goes a long ways, bringing on the right people too. So
That's good. Well, I think that should do it for today. That gives you guys some real clear action steps, whether you're just starting your podcast or maybe you've grown it to a certain ceiling and you say, how do I keep this thing growing? Well, just reaching out relationally to the people that you think you could never get on your show. But what if you actually could? So reach out to them relationally and then find the right time to reach out to them. And as you do those two things, man, look at what Rashawn did. You could do this as well. You could begin to unlock growth for your podcast by bringing on key people.
Yes. Love it, Mark. Love it. All right, guys. Well, make sure you rate, review, and subscribe. We would love to connect with you more. Reach out to us on social media. And we love the community we're building here. Talk soon.
That's it. Talk to you soon.
Thanks for joining us. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe. And visit us at bitesizemarketinghacks.com for more resources and episodes that will help